Hi everyone, my name is Katja, I'm CatColouring and a warm welcome to my channel. Today's video is a review of these coloring pencils I bought on my Black Friday art haul. This is the Bruynzeel Holland 72 coloring pencils from the Expression series. So before we begin, grab yourself a nice cup of coffee or a mug of tea and let's just get started right away. So here you can see the pencils are lying in a very nice tin box, and a little bit unusual because a lot of other tin boxes have dark colors and this sort of gray silvery look, but this one is white, or the lid is white and then the rest is red. So this is a nice change from the usual tin sets here. Here on the cover you can see a glimpse of the coloring pencils here. And it says quality pencils with a strong, thick 3.3mm core for a good color transfer. 72 color pencils. And like I said, from Bruynzeel, Holland. So this is a Dutch brand. Here on top of the cover, we have a very nice B for Bruynzeel, and then a lot of beautiful drawings here colored with these coloring pencils. Also, we are certainly led to believe here. Roses, a hummingbird, and foxes. Lots of colors because we can see here these are coloring pencils. So this cover is, of course, also going to sell the coloring pencils. One pencil is depicted here, number 743. On the back here, which read, it says that they are designed and produced under guidance of royal talents. And then we have a P.O. box in the Netherlands, in the city of Apeldoorn. I am not quite sure actually if this is just a Dutch brand now. I think that Royal Talents has completely taken it over. I was on Royal Talents' website yesterday to try to find the color names, but they don't exist because these pencils only have a number. And here they have all of the different Bruynzeel brands, but the Expression series, what was not mentioned there, they had different sorts of series. So I'm not quite sure if this one doesn't really exist. You can still buy it, but I don't think that it's produced anymore. Anyhow, we can see here that they began creating since 1948. So they have been around for quite some years. You can also see here in different languages, English, Netherlands, France, German, from Spain and Italy, what the coloring pencils are. And it just says the same, 72 high quality color pencils with a strong, thick 3.3mm core, manufactured from quality pigments for good color transfer. They are not very expensive. I got these, as I said, on a sale, so I didn't pay full price on them, but they are actually a budget brand. So if we open, we can see that the lid here is attached to the bottom of the tin box. It doesn't matter. It's actually quite nice that it is. Now, we come to the first problem here. And that is getting this tray, plastic tray with the coloring pencils up. I have nothing here to sort of pull them up like, you could see with the Castle art. The Castle art 120 soft touch set also comes in tin boxes, but here we have some straps so you can take the trays up easily, actually quite easily. But I don't have that here. I haven't found a very good method. I know that you can put your fingers in here, but I still can't lift it. So I am actually forced to sort of get a grip here with one of the coloring pencils away, and then I can grip below and then transfer this one up here so we can see all of the coloring pencils. So I have to say that the first impression and the difficulties getting these pencil trays out of this tin box is actually not that good. Perhaps they could think of a better solution in the future. But now we have all of the coloring pencils here. So if we look at this one first, actually, before I place it in the lid, you can see we have a very nice range here of colored pencils, we have some very nice purple and violet colors. We have some blues here, a little bit of teal here. We have both yellow, orange, and some red colors, some pink colors. We also have some light peachy colors and colors you would call skin tones here. In this other tray, we have more blues and quite a good range of green colors. I have to say it's really impressive how many green colors there are, and we can take a look in a minute on my swatch chart because I have already swatched them. Then we have a nice selection also of different sorts of ochre and blue, not blue, brown colors here, and also of course gray colors, and then, well, silver and gold and a black one. So, as I said, a very nice range of colors. If I remove one pencil, you can see that we have the color here on the barrel, at the end of the barrel. It's hexagonal. And you can also feel it when you have it in your hand. But its sides here are very rounded, so it doesn't feel, with sharp edges like some hexagonal pencils really feel. Then we have the Bruynzeel and Holland printed here. It says expression color, and then, as I said, no name, only a coloring number 775. This one is a nice blue one, so I would actually just call this one light blue if I had to give it a name. You can also see that the tip here is a bit blunt, so you will have to sharpen them. You can clearly see that I have sharpened all of the other pencils here. And you can even see that I have used this one because I had to sharpen it again. So I will just sharpen this one. And then I can put it down. I always recommend sharpening new coloring pencils because there could be some residue of wax here on the tip here, and it's, well, not very good when you want to swatch and color with the pencils. So sharpen them before use. So without further ado, I will just remove this one and let's look at the colors because I have cheated. I have already swatched them. Okay, so let's take a look at this color swatch chart here. And this one is for sale in my coffee shop. So you can buy this. Only the color numbers, not the names, but you could add your own names if you wanted to. You mean light yellow, yellow, and a darker yellow, for example. And right now here in this month, in February, I actually have a 100% discount on my coloring charts and also my color family chart I made for the Eversa London pencils. So go check out my coffee shop. The link to my coffee shop is down in the description box, and also the discount code you have to use. All of my coloring swatch charts are actually for sale. So grab your copy of it while you can. Normal price is $1 for a swatch chart, and for a color family chart I charge $3 because I have put a lot of work in making the swatch chart and especially the color family chart, so that's why I actually have a price on them. Otherwise I should have sold them on Etsy, and then the prices would have to be way higher to to get a little bit out of it, because Etsy is actually quite expensive to be on right now as a seller. Perhaps you have seen some of the other videos on YouTube on why a lot of sellers are leaving Etsy because they can't afford being there. They don't get enough income out of selling on Etsy. And that is why I have chosen to use my coffee shop for selling my color swatch charts and my color family charts. Good. So let's look at it. And as I said, we have such a nice range of colors here, ranging from the white and the very light peachy colors to skin tones here. It's actually quite a light peach here, and then a darker one here. But nice skin tones, 4, so that's okay. A couple of yellows, not that many yellows, a couple of oranges, or orange colors. I keep saying oranges, but I mean orange colors, right? And then some nice reds. And I have to say that this dark red, number 725, is gorgeous. I mean, I have seldomly seen such a gorgeous dark red. I have to admit it. Later on in the video, I will actually compare these with some of the other budget brands. And I have to say that this dark red here is the most beautiful one I have seen, especially in action, because I have tried it on in a coloring. We have some very nice different pink colors. So, you know, it's not like these big sets with 120 pencils, and then you have 3 different light pink colors, which are almost the same, and you can't really see the difference. But here you can clearly see a difference, so that's really nice. And what this set has, a lot of other coloring sets really don't have, it has some very nice light lilac colors, and I really like these lilac colors, and the lighter ones are the sort of pastel colors here. Number 745, so beautiful, and 747, really beautiful. This color is a bit more a mix between pink and light purple here, 754. Kind of reminds me of the Rose Bonbon from the Eversa London pencils. Then, of course, we have some more purple-like colors, and of course, a violet color here, and then the blue colors. And this one in particular, number 746. Again, I'm really sorry, but there aren't any color names. But this one should have been called, I don't know, sky blue or heaven blue or whatever. It's really gorgeous. Some very nice dark colors and also some lighter colors. We have a teal here. And then a very light blue color. And that is just gorgeous when you use it in a coloring book. A couple of turquoise colors. And then we have the green colors ranging from a very dark green here to some more olive-like tones. This color, 776, is more like an earth green, quite like the one we find in the Polychroma set, actually. And then, of course, we have some more lime green colors and light green colors also. A couple of ochre colors ranging from a light to a middle and a darker color. Some red-brown colors and, of course, dark brown colors here. And here we have these colors, sort of henna and Tuscan red here, very beautiful. We have some gray colors, but you can see it's actually a nice selection of grays. Not too many, but we have both light colors and dark colors. So here we have the cold grays here with the 708, 705 and 707, and then the warm gray colors here from 703, 704, 706 to 738. So a little bit more of the warm gray colors than the cold gray, but it's usually like that in most coloring pencil set. A beautiful black. And then we have the metallic colors, gold and silver here. And a little note to this, these are really nice to apply to the paper when you use, for example, Prismacolor. I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm just saying that when I use Prismacolor, and I've only used it, I know, once or twice, these metallic colors, except for the bronze, but these two are very scratchy. And usually a lot of these metallic pencils, when they are in a normal coloring pencil set, are very scratchy. If you buy the metallic sets where it's all metallic colors, then actually they don't need to be scratchy. The Derwent metallics are extremely soft, creamy and buttery, I have to say. And also the Castle Art metallic set, it's not too bad either. But these are very nice to work with. They don't scratch and they give a very nice color. I don't normally use a lot of metallic coloring pencils, I have to say. I normally, try to use other colors to create metallic effects, but these two are really, really nice. And that silver you could easily use with some gray colors to add more shine to a sort of silvery metal feel to it. So that was the colors. Of course, this is just cheap printing paper, and they scratched against this paper, and I also had some pencil dust. But that's normal. It usually happens with all of the coloring pencils on this cheap printing paper when I swatch them. If I wasn't I'm not, cheap, but if I use some better paper to print on, of course, the pencils would act differently when I swatch them. But let's test them now and see how they perform on the very nice paper we find in different sorts of coloring books, because my reviews are always all about how the pencils perform in coloring books, because that's what we adult colorists are interested in knowing. So let's get started on that. First book up is, as usual, a Johanna Basford book, because a lot of people color in Johanna Basford books, and I know that a lot of my subscribers and others who watch this review actually use Johanna Basford books. And I have a swatch page here. And today it was quite easy to find this double page spread with all of these leaves. And you can see I have actually written in the leaves what coloring pencil brands I have tested here. So my hope is that at some point this page will be completed with all of these different brands of coloring pencils that I test. Okay, so I think that it's the easiest way just to pick a leaf and then some colors. You can see I have chosen green for most of my leaves. Sometimes I like to use different colors like blue or purple, or perhaps some yellow and orange colors. And I actually think that I would like to try out some of the yellow and orange, because I only have one leaf here on this page. So why not make another one with these nice golden colors? So I actually think that I will take this big leaf. So let me just find my pencils here. Let us try the light yellow and the dark yellow, light orange and orange. That is what I call these colors, since they have no names. But it's the 710, 711, 713, 721 and 720. The number system I really can't also understand, because sometimes the higher colors, color numbers are the lighter colors, and sometimes it's the darker colors. So it's really difficult to understand the system behind these coloring pencils. Well, enough about that. Let's get to it here. And well, I always want to just add some colors, so I will actually test them for the layering abilities and also the blending abilities. And I never take this edge, because I use metallic pens for that. So let's start with the darkest color, this orange color. Now I have to remember the color in the right place. And we will just add color here. So this is the first layer. And as you can see, I would very much like to layer. Oh, this is actually quite difficult here. So let's just say that we have one layer on all of these now. And you can see it doesn't fill the truth of the paper nearly enough. So let's add this light orange. Then the dark yellow. You can clearly see that I am working my way to a blending test also here with these different colors. And the yellow. And the lightest of the yellows. Let's just do the middle here. Okay, so let's begin with the layering. So one layer is clearly, as you can see, not enough to cover the white of the paper. So let's add a second layer, and let's say that this one here, because this one is a bit weird and awkward behind. So let's say that this was the first layer. Then I add a second layer here. And all the way through here. And also over here, because I am not quite sure if I am going to be needing 3 or 4 layers. So the second layer, well, it covers a bit more, but we can still see the white of the paper, because you can clearly see the difference between the first layer here and then the second layer here. And this will be more obvious if I also use this orange here and the dark gold, or not dark gold, the dark yellow actually. It looks a little bit like a gold with the paint on the barrel, but you can never trust the paint on the barrel. Only trust the color from the leads here. And the yellow. And the light yellow here. And here we can clearly see a difference between 1 layer and 2 layers here. You can still see some of the white of the paper. This is not a surprise, because usually most wax-based pencils need quite a few layers in the paper in Johanna Basford books compared to, for example, Maria Trolle and Hanna Karlzon. So let's say that the half of this is the second layer. Then let me add a third layer here on the other half of this part of the leaf. And also over here, a third layer. Was it a second? I think I will. Hope I won't be needing that. Okay. So the lighter orange, a third layer here. And the dark yellow, a third layer. And the normal yellow, I think it's all the way out here actually, if I have to be honest. And then the very light yellow here. I'm just going to be coloring this because otherwise we can't see the third layer there. And now we can clearly see a difference. What a difference this made. 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers, and now I can hardly see any of the white of the paper, and I will actually not layer a 4th time because I can see now that it's really filling up here. So I was actually mistaken. This one with the Castle Art 120 Soft Touch took, I think it was 7 or 8 layers before I was beginning to get satisfied with the you know, the filling here of this paper. But here, 3 layers is actually quite good for a wax-based pencil in a Johanna Basford book. Usually it takes up to 4 layers, sometimes 5 layers for some of them before I am, well, at least satisfied with the result. But 3 layers here, this is actually quite good. I don't even think that the Staedtler Design Journey could do a job that well done, I have to say. So let's look at the blending ability. So let me just, you know, work with this part of the leaf here. So that was another layer here. And this. And as you can see, I'm just coloring where this light orange is going to be, and also on top of the darker orange. Then I take the darker yellow and add the 3rd layer and color also a little bit on top of the light orange. I do the same with this yellow. And I do the same here with the light yellow. And this is actually quite an interesting result. Hope you really can see it, because they do blend really nicely into each other, especially here between these two orange colors and these yellow colors here. The two orange colors, of course, you can see a difference between the orange and the yellow, because, you know, it's a completely different color. But you can see that they blend nicely into each other, and you can hardly see any sort of line here between the two orange colors. And also with the darker yellow and the yellow, you cannot see any line here. Of course, you can see a bit up here between the light yellow and the yellow, because there is quite a color difference between the two yellow colors. But if I kept blending the colors into each other, then it diminishes. And I would like to compare it to, what have I written here? Oh, these were the ChromaFlow pencils. The Derwent one I tested the last time. That review is, by the way, up on my channel in the playlist reviews. You can clearly see the lines between the different colors. It still was a bit difficult on this paper to blend it into each other. You can also see my Prismacolors. You can see something. And also the castle arts here. But these Black Widows, they also blend very nicely into each other, just like these Bruynzeel. They are really good at blending into each other. These are also Black Widows, also very nicely blended into each other. Whereas these Eversars are not that well blended into each other. Could also be the colors, but you know, some pencils blend easily into each other on this paper, which is actually a bit soft. It doesn't have that much of a tooth here in Magical Jungle here by Johanna Basford, but this one I'm really satisfied. So this was a nice surprise. 3 layers and very good blendability here in Johanna Basford's book. You can guess what book this is. Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. My test page 2. I've already used 1 test page up here in this book. And let's look at the colors. I think that I will color this tulip here. So 724. This is a color which is, it does have a bit orange in it. So it's sort of like a scarlet red, you know, not a red, but more like a scarlet red. And then I have 723, which is a red one, and 752 here, which is also a red color. So let's get started. I will actually think I will use the 724, the scarlet. Here. So let's just test the blendability here. So that one, and then the 752. I mean, it would be very much more easy if I had color names instead of all of these numbers. I do think it's a bit annoying. And the 723. So if I just keep another layer and this one, and you can see they are so nicely blended into each other here. I mean, these coloring pencils from Bruynzeel, they are so easy to blend. And you can also almost guess what result we will have now that we try the layering. So I will just use number 723. And all of these black lines here are a bit confusing. So let's just try with some of the other. Let's take these 3 bit larger ones down here. So I will just add 1 layer of color here and here and here. And you can see, we can still see the paper It's a very nice light layer, but if I want more color and want it to cover, then we say this is one layer. This is 2 layers. And here we can see a clear difference now. So if I want to add a 3rd layer, there you have it. 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers. Let's take it up to the camera so you can really see it. I don't think I would add a 4th layer here in this book, I have to say. This was with the light pressure. What happens if I just, press normally here? Let's try up here. 1 layer. So 1 layer, 2 layers, and a 3rd layer here. Honestly, if you press normally and not light, 2 layers is more than enough because you don't have to add a 3rd layer. So light pressure, 3 layers if you really want to cover that tooth in the paper. If you have a normal pressure, 1 layer. If you press hard, I would say only 1 layer would be enough. So 3 layers, 2 layers, depending on the pressure you add, and very beautiful blended here. This is just really nice pencils to work with and quite easy actually. Last but not least, Seasons by Hanna Karlzon. Thick paper, has some nice tooth here, and my test page right here, where I have tested the Chromaflows, Eversars, Arctex, Holbein Pastels, Black Widows, Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, and my Charisma colors. So let's find some new colors. Let's try some of the blue colors. I would really like to try out this 746. Such a beautiful, I don't know what you would call it. Like when the night sky is deep, rich and blue before it goes really dark and then black. I really, really like that one. So let's try this one, and perhaps I really, really like this one. Perhaps also the 741. Yeah. And perhaps the 742. This one. Oh. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with these 3 pencils. So that's a very light blue and a dark blue, if we have to call them colors. Actually, I would say this is some sort of a really fancy royal blue or something, but never mind that. I think that we should try coloring this nice little gem up here. So I have colored quite a few gems lately, I think. I did a how to color gems with the gem page in Johanna Basford's Magical Worlds. And here for Valentine's Day, I made a color along with a big gem in a heart also, actually from Magical Dawn. So, oh my gosh. I mean, come on. I just do 1 layer and it's almost covered. What's happening here? Can you see that 1 layer? I'm not even sure I want any more color to go down. Okay, so let's just try this 741. Oh my. Well, I can hardly believe it. I mean, 1 or 2 layers and then it's enough in this book. So you can see that I have added 1 layer all the way around here. And with the dark color, well, the paper is almost saturated. So if I just see that this is one layer and then add a second layer here, you can clearly see the difference that this does. 2 layers completely filled up. My goodness, these pencils work like a dream on this paper in this Hanna Karlzon book. I have experienced it a few times with other coloring pencil brands, but I have to say that this one is absolutely amazing. Let's try the very light color. And see, it's a light pale color. Had a little bit of pencil dust, but this is also extremely sharp. I actually wouldn't recommend that you sharpen this to this extremely sharp point, because they do tend to, I think, break a little bit. So sharpen them so they are a bit more round. If you use your Dali 133, then you can, you know, tweak it so it doesn't make them extremely sharp, because they have a tendency to the tip of them to sort of break up, actually, to break off. Oh my. This is just amazing. Well, I'm absolutely stunned here. So, I mean, dark colors, 1 layer is more than enough. I think if you do 2 layers, perhaps it's a bit much. 1 to 2 layers. In this book, it's more than enough. Let's try to see how they blend. So let's just try in here with the middle of this gem here. And I would actually like to add a 4th color, the 775. And then let us just take this one. And I can just add a bit more color. And look at how it blends. And then just the light one to blend it all together. Very, very nice. You can see it's easier for colors that are, you know, these are both bright and not that light. So colors that are more like are easier to blend into each other than if you add a very, very light color. So of course you will have some differences there, but it's still really nicely blended. I will just press a bit hard to get the color out here. And then you can just build up color. When it's a larger area, then we can do a bit more layers, but not much, because the tooth is filled now. I mean, come on. So definitely in smaller areas, I would actually only do 1 layer. And in larger areas, I would do 2 layers, I can see. But that's it. And if you have a dark color, it covers really, really well with just 1 layer. I mean, I could just keep on going here. They are so very easy and nice to work with in this book. Get yourself some Bruynzeel, I'm just saying. Thank you so much for watching this review of the 72 colored pencil from the Expression series from Bruynzeel. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you got a lot out of it and perhaps made you decide to purchase these coloring pencils, especially if you are a beginner colorist. I can certainly recommend it, and I don't just easily recommend things. I am not bought by any companies. I buy coloring supplies myself and I review them and I give you my very honest opinion about them. So I'm not bought by Royal Talents or Bruynzeel to say this. This is based on my work with these pencils. I also said that I have worked with them before, so let me just show you a little glimpse of this page I have just done here in Small Victories by Johanna Basford. And this is a book with paper that is very suitable for oil-based pencils. These are wax-based. I think I forgot to say that in the beginning, but these are wax-based and they really work so nicely in this book on this paper, which is actually quite smooth and better suited for oil-based pencils. But you can see the result. Absolutely beautiful. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Upcoming videos, more color and chats, more reviews, and, of course, my colored pencil collection video series, which will begin shortly on my channel. I'll also begin making small, helpful videos about how to make quick and nice backgrounds, how to create shadows and highlights in your colorings, and give you tips and tricks for different things when you're coloring. So stay tuned on my channel with great content. Until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself. Have a lovely day. Happy coloring. Bye.